Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful day to bet on some NBA player props. I'm your host, John Metler from covers.com, and I'm joined from EV Analytics by Adam Scherher. Adam's going to release some NBA props for us today. Adam, how's it going for you today?
Going pretty well. Interesting night last night with the bridge collapsing in Baltimore. So was up all night, like reading about that and watching videos on that. But doing well this morning. Have some bets, and hopefully they come through.
Yeah. First of all, thoughts and prayers to everyone in Baltimore. Adam's from Baltimore. I don't know if anyone knows that, but Adam's from Baltimore and he can see the bridge from his house. So a long night for Adam there, but thoughts and prayers to everyone in Baltimore. So if you're new to the release show here, how this is going to go down, Adam's got 3 picks for us today. We're going to bring you, we're going to kind of try to stall, but Adam's going to we'll bring you to a sports book. We'll tell you what the sports book is that we're using that has the best price. Then we'll tell you the market so you can find it, navigate it. And then we'll tell you the player, and then we'll tell you the bet. And then Adam will give you a breakdown of, why he likes this bet, provide a little more context to just like the number side of the betting. So Adam is from EV Analytics. They do fantastic projections on player props. I use their projections every single day for my betting. Their projections are on our Covers website. You can find them. You go to sports, NBA prop projections. You'll see all those projections tied to all those players. Those are all from EV Analytics. The only thing, if you go to our website, you don't have context from Adam, and that's why we have Adam here. So Adam's going to break this down a little more for us. And lastly, before we get rolling here into the first pick, and I'm excited for the first pick because it's an assist prop. But if before we get rolling here, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel here and this show, so you can join us every time we release picks here. So Della, if you want to bring up the first prop here, we're going to 365 at 365, and then we are looking at Mavericks Kings. I had a fun experience with a Mavericks assist prop last night. It's not the same player though. So we'll go to the assist market.
Was it Kyrie?
Yep. And he had 5 at halftime and didn't get another one.
Did you have the over or the under?
I had the over. So.
I had the under, so it was a lot more fun.
So good for one of us, not good for the other one.
Yeah. I saw it at halftime and just wrote it off. And then I was going through and seeing how my bets did. I was like, wait, how did I win that?
Yeah, I saw it at halftime and I went to bed and I was like, oh, this one's good. I'm going to go to bed. And I woke up and I was like, 5. Okay, we're going to PJ Washington. And we're playing over 1.5 assists for PJ Washington. Plus 150. Is it 150 or 160?
I think it was 160 on 365.
Yeah, it was 160 when it came on here. 160. So PJ Washington over 1.5 assists plus 160 is the bet. Adam, if you want to break this down for us, why you like PJ Washington tonight?
Yeah, I mean, this is one where I don't think there's a lot of additional analysis in that I don't have some great reason that I think PJ Washington's getting 5 assists or anything. But we have him projected for 1.8 assists in 33 minutes here. The line the line here is plus 160, so it hasn't moved yet. On BetMGM, you can get it at plus 150. It's down from plus 155 earlier, so it has moved a little bit in our favor already. Hopefully we can bet it now. Hopefully it keeps going. It's not, like PJ Washington's a great assist guy overall since joining the Mavs. He's only averaging 1.9 potential assists per game. That number isn't any higher in smaller samples recently. It's just a spot where he does project a little bit over this number, and we are getting plus money. We have him winning about 51% of the time, or going over about 51% of the time. So essentially you're betting a coin flip here based on our projections, but you're getting significant plus money to do it.
Yeah, even more like the basketball side. This is a big game for the Mavericks and Kings, just from the Western Conference standings thing. So I would think you're going to see big minutes from. I know it's the second night of a back-to-back, but we should see big minutes here from all the starters from both sides. I would think, just because of where these teams fall in the standings in the Western Conference. So that the first release is PJ Washington over 1.5 assists plus 160 at bet 365. We'll move on to the second release here, and we're going to DraftKings. Del, you want to bring us to DraftKings? Perfect. Oh, 365. We can talk about our Kyrie more. We might have a hard time, maybe he's having a hard time here at DraftKings.
One thing I will add to go to your point on PJ Washington, that assist projection that we have is also only in 33 minutes, which, again, I think is the correct way to project PJ Washington. But to your point about it being an important game, he played 35 minutes last night. You easily could see 35, 36 minutes again tonight, which would just make it look even better.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where, the you like it at this projection. It's like really good bet at this projection, but there's also a chance we catch even higher minutes. So
Right.
that's perfect scenario.
Right. Like there's always the chance he plays less, like foul trouble happens, blowouts happen, et cetera. But if I had to guess, you tell me PJ Washington lands on one side or the other of 33 minutes in the spot, I would think it's more likely he's playing more minutes.
Okay. Well, we're gonna move on to the second release here. I'm assuming we're having a little troubles here with DraftKings. It did get up on the screen there. So the second release is Patty Mills under 1.5 threes made. It's plus 110 a DK. You could also find this at BetMGM at plus 110. So the bet once again is Patty Mills under 1.5 threes made plus 110. Adam, if you want to break down Patty Mills for us.
Yeah, definitely not a name that I expected to be throwing around on any betting shows in 2024, but we've seen him in the starting lineup for Miami. Miami's still banged up today. No Duncan Robinson. They do have a couple questionable guys here, so it's a little bit scary in that Jaquez is questionable. He missed last game, but Caleb Martin's also questionable. If they were both to be out, then maybe you do get a little bit more playing time for Patty Mills. But as long as one of those guys is in, you don't expect him to be out there too much. 2 games ago, you had Caleb Martin and Jaquez both active, and Patty Mills played 12 minutes. Last game with no Jaquez, but with Martin in, he played 21 minutes. He's not going to be a high usage guy with Bam active, with Butler active. So you're just hoping essentially that he doesn't shoot the lights out from three. We have him projected for 1.4 threes. The line is 1.5 at plus 110. So a little bit of plus money there. We have a 61% chance of winning, and we're getting odds. So again, it's just a spot where there's not a ton of digging into Patty Mills 3-point shooting that you can do, but essentially especially as long as one of Martin or Jaquez plays in this game, you're not expecting Mills to go out there and play a ton of minutes. You just kind of need to avoid that shooting 50% from three outcome.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Patty Mills is one of those veterans you just bring in, regardless of who's out, who's in, who's starting, whatever. He has like a minutes cap. Like he's only coming in for a certain amount of minutes, and that's it. I don't think a bunch of people are out and he's going to play 30 minutes. That's just not
Right.
where he is in his career, right?
Yeah,
So
like my only concern as far as the playing time goes is, like if you look at the last game where he did play 21 and a half, 22 minutes, DeLon Wright played 30 in that game. Highsmith played 25. Caleb Martin played 20. So like if you take Caleb Martin out, there's only so many more minutes that can go to DeLon Wright and Highsmith. So then it becomes like, does Jamal Cain get in the rotation, or does Patty Mills just, play like it's 10 years ago and play 30? But you have outs because you really just need one of Jaquez or Martin to play, I think. And if they both play, it looks even better.
Yeah, for sure. So the second release is Patty Mills under 1.5 3-pointers plus 110. It was DraftKings or BetMGM. You could go either way there. That's what had the best price when we came on air here. So let's move on to the third release here. We're staying at DraftKings. It's the Oklahoma City, New Orleans Pelicans games. And then we are looking at points and rebounds. And then the player is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Adam, this is a different number than what we had before we came on air here. So I'll tell you what the number was before we came on air here, and then we'll see if we can find a sportsbook that still has it. But the bet Adam liked was under 36.5 minus 125 at DraftKings. It looks like it moved just before we came on air here, so it's now under 35.5 minus 105. Adam, if you want to break down SGA, I'm going to see if we can find a spot that has 36.5 here on the odd screen.
Yeah, so this is finally one that was interesting to dig into, and there was some stuff to like. Like you said, the line has moved considerably. It was already moving before the show, but apparently moved even more. But this is a very tough spot. It should be a really fun spot to watch. We know Herb Jones can cause a lot of problems defensively, but the Pelicans have allowed the fewest rebounds per game to guards this year. They've allowed the fewest points per game to guards this year. And one big reason for that is they've also allowed the 5th fewest points per possession in the pick and roll. They rank in the 86th percentile in efficiency defending the pick and roll. They've allowed the fewest field goal attempts to players in the pick and roll. Gilgeous-Alexander comes into this game averaging the 14th most pick and roll possessions per game. So when you just think about it from a standpoint of what does SGA do a lot of, what does he rely on, the Pelicans defend it really well. Now, SGA does also rank in the 95th percentile in efficiency. So you're getting a situation where the Pelicans are very, very good at defending it SGA is just very, very good at getting what he wants. So it'll be a very interesting matchup to watch. We know, again, Herb Jones is a very, very good individual defender. So tough matchup overall for SGA. Certainly a great player, could just get it regardless, but should be a tough spot for him to score. And then on top of that, as I mentioned, the Pelicans very good at limiting rebounding to guards as well.
Adam, what's the projection? Do you have the projection for this?
33.2.
So it's at 35.5 minus 105. We're still playing it. It's way under. Yeah. Okay. So I just did a quick browse of all the sports books, and DraftKings still has the best price. So everyone's dropped down here to 35.5, but DraftKings had the best juice at minus 105. So your best bet is still at DraftKings for this bet. So the 3 releases are PJ Washington over 1.5 assists plus 160, Patty Mills under 1.5 3-pointers made plus 110, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander under 35.5 points and rebounds minus 105. And you might want to get on that SGA one pretty quick because it's moving literally as we're talking to you on the screen here. Adam, any closing thoughts for you?
I just refreshed also to double check, and SGA with the new line still comes out as one of the top bets right now.
Yeah. Do you have the break even point too on that?
So at 35.5, we have minus 198 as the break even point. So again, I wouldn't bet it all the way up to 198. I don't think it's going to get there anyway, but still plenty of room to work.
Yeah, still a great spot. It's why it's moving. It's why it's moved down from 36.5. It's why it's getting attention. So those are our 3 bets. That's our release show. We'll be back on Thursday at 10 a.m. We'll be 10 a.m. now. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's win some bets. Del, play the song.